Hi, I'm Laura. Welcome to my homestead kitchen. Today I want to show you how to go from this pumpkin and these wheat berries and your sourdough starter to fresh pumpkin pie. So I have some canned pumpkin here we're gonna use that I've canned up. If you wanna know how to can pumpkin, check out my video on that. And we have our spelt berries that we're gonna grind up. You could definitely don't have to use your fresh flour, but if you have that, that's even better. And we have our sourdough starter. You can use a discard. Okay, and if you don't have canned pumpkin, you can use canned pumpkin from the store or your own canned pumpkin. If you don't have canned pumpkin and you just have literally fresh pumpkins, you can just cut these up and cook them and mash it and use that for the pumpkin pie. So we'll get started on our sourdough pie crust first. I want that to ferment overnight for me so that it's super friendly on my blood sugar. If you have someone you're feeding this pie to that has diabetes or is really watching their blood sugars, this will be a great recipe for them. I will give you a sugar-free option as well as just a normal option. You don't have to ferment this overnight, but it is gonna make that flour break down on you and be super friendly for your gut and for your blood sugar. So let's get started with grinding this spelt. We need 1 cup and 2 tablespoons of flour. You can use just whole wheat flour, or you can grind your own, or you can use white flour. Whatever you have is great. So I'm gonna pour this into here, and we're aiming for 1 cup and 2 tablespoons. This is just my mock mill attachment for my KitchenAid that I have. You do not want coarse flour for that pie crust. So set your mill at a super fine setting. Okay, so we also need 1/2 cup of oat flour. So I'm just gonna take these rolled oats from Costco that I have, put them in my blender, and just blend that into a flour consistency. Okay, in our mixer bowl, we're going to measure out our 1 cup of freshly milled flour. So we need 1 cup and then 2 tablespoons of that in our bowl. And we'll put our 1/2 cup of oat flour in there as well. Okay, the next thing we're gonna add is, I'm gonna use coconut oil. This is like a unflavored coconut oil. You can use lard or butter is a good option too. And we're gonna use 3/4 cup of this. So you want it to be hard so that you can make your crumb for your pie crust. Okay, so we're gonna put that into our flour as well. You're gonna use 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And you're gonna use 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, that's it for now. We're just going to use our pastry cutter and cut this coconut oil into here to make like a crumble. Okay, so we're going to mix our 1/4 cup of water, cool water, with our 1/2 cup of starter, just to make it easier to mix in that starter to the pie crust. So I'm just measuring out 1/2 cup of our discard here. This is also a spelt sourdough starter, but you could use whatever you have. So I'm just gonna pour that into our water and then just give that a stir. Okay, so let's take this over to the mixer and we'll start incorporating this liquid into our pie crust to get our pie crust consistency. Okay, so I'm just gonna add 1/4 cup of this starter and water at a time until it's the pie crust consistency that we want. I'm gonna turn this on to just 1. It's as easy as that. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this out now and put it in this bowl, and I'm gonna leave it in the fridge until tomorrow when I have more time to work on this. I want it, you could do a 7-hour ferment on the counter, or you could just leave it in the fridge overnight, or do a combination of those. So that's what we have, that's what it looks like. I'm just gonna make it into a nice ball, put it in this bowl and cover it, and then we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so we have our pie crust here. I took it out of the fridge this morning and it was really rock hard, so I just let it warm up all day while I was doing other stuff. So we're into the afternoon now and I'm gonna get this pie made up. So you can just spread some flour out on your work surface. I'm gonna separate this into 2. And we're gonna roll this out. I might have let it warm up too much because now it's quite soft. It's pretty fragile dough with this freshly milled spelt. So let's get this in here and we will try to make it look as pretty as we can. Okay, so we got our 2 pie crusts made up, kind of a really rustic looking pie crust. I'm gonna clean my mess up and then I'll show you how to do the pumpkin pie filling. Okay, so I'm gonna open my jar of pumpkin here. This is a quart jar. So I have all of this liquid in here that I need to drain off. If you don't have liquid to drain off, obviously don't do that. Just open your can or whatever you have of pumpkin and you can put that in instead of this. So I'm gonna drain this off. I really find pumpkin that I've canned myself is not like a super strong flavor like canned pumpkin that you get from the store. I like it a lot better. It's a lot milder. We need 2.5 cups of pumpkin puree. So one of those quart jars is gonna give me enough. I'm gonna put everything here in my blender and I'm just gonna blend it all up instead of bothering with a whisk. So I'm gonna use 1 cup of sweetener. The sweetener that I have, I will show you. I just get this from Costco. It's a monk fruit and erythritol blend for sweetener. So it's 0 calorie, it doesn't spike your blood sugar like sugar would. Of course, you can just substitute sugar for this, vice versa. Yeah, but this is really good alternative to that. That is still healthy. So we're gonna put in 1 cup of that. We're gonna put in a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a teaspoon of salt, and you're gonna put in some spices. So you can use a pumpkin pie spice. If you have pumpkin pie spice, I would use 2 teaspoons of that. If you don't, I'm using this gingerbread spice that I have from Epicure. It smells really nice. So I'm gonna put in 2 teaspoons of this. If you don't have either of those things, that is perfectly fine. You're gonna wanna use 1/2 teaspoon ginger, 1/2 teaspoon cloves, 1/2 teaspoon nutmeg, and 2 teaspoons cinnamon. So you could do that as an alternative to a pre-made spice. That would be perfectly great. Then you're gonna wanna put in 2 cups of heavy cream. If you don't have heavy cream, definitely just use 10% or even use a can or 2 of evaporated milk, but you want 2 cups of that. The last thing we're gonna put in is 4 eggs. So I have my eggs for my chickens here. Put in 4 of these and then we'll blend it up. So this makes a nice creamy pumpkin pie. It's so good. Also, don't forget to preheat your oven to 350 while you're doing this. Okay, so let's blend this up. See that? so now we're just gonna pour this pie filling into our crust. Distribute it evenly between the two crusts and we will get it baking. It's pretty liquidy, but do not be scared. The egg and the pumpkin are gonna firm stuff up and it's gonna be like a custardy pumpkin pie filling. Okay, let's get this bread out of the way so we can put our pies in. I made some freshly milled sourdough bread earlier today. Smell super good in here. When Ed walks in, it's gonna smell like fresh bread and pumpkin pie. It's awesome, right? Turned out nice. We're gonna cook these pies at 350 for an hour. So we will check them and I'll show you what you're looking for to make sure that they're done. Okay, so it's been an hour. Let's take a look and see what this pie looks like. So you can see when I shake this, it doesn't move at all. So that's how we know it's done. And we can take it out. Same with the other one. So let's let these cool and then we're gonna make some fresh whipped cream. I'll show you how I do that with just stevia and cream. And we'll see what Ed thinks after supper. We'll give him a piece and get him to taste test it for us. Okay, so we're gonna make our whipped cream. I have about 2 cups of heavy cream in here. You can use as much cream as you want or as you think you need. Doesn't really matter. And I'm just gonna use my pure stevia. I have the tiniest little scoop. This is like a 1/32 of a scoop because this is pure stevia, so it's very sweet. We're pretty accustomed to the taste in my house, but some people are not and they say it has like a funny aftertaste. But everyone here is used to it, so that's just what I use. You're gonna use about a teaspoon of vanilla and that's it. So super easy to make real whipped cream. I don't know why people don't do it more. Using something like Dream Whip or something like that is pretty common, but making real whipped cream is super, super simple. So we're just gonna turn this mixer on and slowly turn it up to the highest and just mix it until we have whipped cream. Now, obviously you want to make sure that your whipped cream is very cold, and even you can chill your bowl too if your house is quite warm to help this process along. Okay, so there we go. So you want to make sure that you beat it till it's stiff enough so that it holds up well and there isn't liquidy stuff on the bottom. The kids are all anxiously awaiting some dessert from me. So let's get this cut up. We'll see what they think. Nice. Looks good, eh, guys? What do you think, John? Does that look good? Yeah? Okay, guys, my trusty taste tester is outside. So we'll bring the pie to him.
Oh, what's happening?
I need you to try my pie.
Pie testing. Pumpkin pie?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's not sweet at all.
It's not very sweet.
No.
You would like it sweeter?
Maybe a little.
So you could definitely add more sweetener if you wanted to.
It's not bad though. Like it's a light dessert. Like I don't like something that's super, super heavy in sugar. Like if you bite into it, you feel the grains of sugar. Oof. Nice and light. Cheers, guys.
Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next cook that I do. Don't forget to like and subscribe.